Hello everybody, and welcome to Scodix live webinar. My name is Amit Schwartz, and I'm VP Marketing at Scodix. And with me here is Guy Alon, who heads our application team. And together we want to share with you the wonders of Scodix digital print enhancement. We are doing that session at Ascot. This is a printer that has Scodix for the last 4 years, and have managed within those 4 years to do a lot of application, a lot of business, and a lot of very interesting stuff with Scodix. Our session today is going to be focused around variable data enhancement. Many people talk about variable data printing, and that have been in the industry for the last 20-something years. Variable data enhancement is something new that we would like to share with you today. The possibilities of doing enhancement with foil, with sense, with many other applications, and that each one of them would be different, is amazing. And I think that the best would be to see this actually working. So let's start from a job. What we're going to do today is we're going to print this box, which is a BioLoxir, a cosmetic box. And you see the enhancement, which is foil, that is printing on top of this box. But to do this box is a little bit too simple for us. So we'll do this box, and in parallel, we'll do those boxes as well. And we have a series of additional 8 boxes that each one of them represent a different way of doing enhancement. Everything that we'll see today, of course, is digital. No molds, no dyes, no setup. And I think that the best way to demonstrate it is actually, let's start printing. I would like to share with you the Cmyk. That's our base Cmyk. So of course this is without the enhancement. And on top of that, we will print a different enhancement. Let's go to the stacker and start enjoying the day. So the Scodix Ultra Pro already started to print. Of course, Guy activated it. And we'll go over the press and its abilities in a minute. We are printing at 1,250 sheets per hour. And the amount of enhancement that you can do starts from foil, from sense, from cast and cure, from crystal, is a choice that each one of the customers can have. So if we go to the stacker, we can already see that we are doing the alignment on the dots to make sure that everything is aligned. And soon we are going to start having the first sheet getting out of the press. Now, if you look carefully, you can see that each one of the sheets carries a different enhancement. The enhancement was preset before that by our designers in a very simple way of doing it, just making sure that each one could be different. Now, if you would like to do one of each, 1,000 of each, 50 of each, or just do all of them and then choose the one that you like best, of course, all of it is an option. One by one, we have a different digital foil printing on the spot, offering various kinds of enhancement on the Scodix Ultra Press. We continue printing, and we have our batch ready to be used in order to prepare the boxes that we have seen at the beginning of this session.
Okay, thank you, Amit. Let's go along the press and see the important parts of it, starting with the feeder. Here you can see the feeder. Can take a substrate between 130 GSM up to 700 GSM. Can be lowered to accumulate up to 2,600 sheets. It has the barcode reader, which this feature is critical and most important for the variable data enhancement. Printed sheets can be with barcode, and each Scodix separation can be selected automatically and be printed according to the barcode reader. Let's move to the engine of the press. the engine of the press, including the 4 OPA cameras, which allow us to be very precise in printing the Scodix separation over the Cmyk printed sheet. We have 4 cameras, each sheet being camera monitored. We measure the accurate and the position of the page. We are changing the Scodix separation according to the position of the print, and changing the separation in the software and in the data transferred to the printheads. After the printheads, we have the LED spinning UV lamp in order to control the flow of the polymer after it's been printed. We are freezing it and control the flow, allow us to achieve very accurate fonts. And then we have a UV lamp in the press, making the polymer an adhesive. And we're reaching the foiler unit, digital foiler unit, which can allow us to print various of foils, cold and hot. We have up to 36 different foils in our recommended foil list. And what is so special about this foiler is that we have 3 foil saving units, and we have the ability to print 4 segments down to 50 millimeters width, to use it different colors, different types at the same run. We have the foil saving between the prints, between the sheets. We are not foiling and not engaging between the sheets. And if there are different segments along the page itself, we also have the ability to save the foil between those images. So we have up to 36 different colors and manufacturers and types of foils. We can support different colors.
We talked about VDE. We talked about the possibility of doing variable data enhancement. And on the variable data enhancement, we talk about the possibility of doing variable data enhancement and printing one after the other different packages that could be used for any business direction. Let's take VDE to the next step. And when thinking about and preparing this webinar, we thought a lot about what would be the right next step in order to show VDE to the audience. And the direction that we decided to do is to say the following. We have online right now more than 426 people worldwide. 426 people that have registered to join us to this webinar, and this is my opportunity to say thank you to all of you, in order to see the possibilities of doing variable data enhancement. Now, what we have decided to do is, let's do this direct mail and offer each one of the people over here a personalized thank you for joining the Scodix live demo. But of course, the way to do it is to do it personalized with each one name appearing on the card that you're going to get. Of course, this is before we cut it and put it into envelopes. So as I said, 426 people registered to this webinar. And each one of them, of course, is going to get his own personalized foil. Now, each one of you who is dealing with direct mail knows the effect of how much can you charge and what would be the effect on the end customer when the name is with foil versus a regular direct mail which doesn't have anything personalized or have only digital printing. So again, this is something new being shown here, and I'm sure that each one of you can take it to the direction of, you know, what can this do to my business? Okay, so let's take a few of those and let's look at them carefully. So again, we have digital foil being presented online, printed as we speak. Each one of them with a different name, no molds, no dies, no setup. All of it was set just a few minutes before we started that session based on the list that we have of people that registered. And I'm sure that the people that registered just, you know, a few minutes ago can find their name as well in this direct mail piece that is going to get out and be shipped to each one of you right after we finish this session. A lot of emphasis on the Scodix Ultra Pro was placed on building a platform. We do not look at it as a press. We look at it as a platform that is capable of doing or producing many digital enhancements and support a lot of substrate. So maybe a few words, Guy, from your side, because you have tested most of them, on the substrate that we support and what kind of customers can find benefit with the Scodix technology.
Yeah, so as Amit mentioned, this is a platform that supports different polymers that we develop, especially for different substrate. Scodix in general can print on 3 main substrate: offset, coated, water-based, UV-coated, water-based, and offset. Prints can be printed on digital, which means HP Indigo, can be toner-based digital presses like Konica Minolta, Xerox, Kodak, and that was very challenging for us as the surface energy of those digital toner-based is very low, so we developed a special polymer for sense and for foil. And the third group is the plastics. We can print directly on PVC, PET, lamination, BOPP, directly on it. Of course, all 3 substrate, we developed a special polymers to be the best print quality can be achieved, best mechanical properties, chemical properties to ensure a stability of the printed sheets.
I want to share with you some of the work that our customers are doing that would enhance a little bit more and maybe give you a few more options of what could be done with Scodix, what kind of application. So if we step to this table, one of the examples that I like is this example that has both foil and sense on the top. And this is a calendar of 2008 that is something that each customer of BMW would get. And you can see that this is personalized with foil. Very similar to what we have done over here with foil. If you open it, then you have the calendar itself. Again, sense, foil, and another sense, all of it in one run. Another example, maybe again from the car industry, would be this work. That again, this is a sense, Scodix sense work, or what some of the people would call UV. You can see over here the effect of the UV, but very interesting to see the effect of the low density, very accurate low density that you have over here on the side. Again, a work that was done for Citroën, and again shows the advantages of Scodix. And definitely, this is something that a customer or a commercial printer, a PSP, can charge a lot more than a regular brochure. We can see samples of an application called Scodix Crystals that allows you to do up to 900 or even 1 millimeter height. Usually the foil samples that you saw over here are something more towards the direction of 50 micron. Here you can see 4 braille, 4 times 250 micron, one on top of the other. Okay, and that's our Scodix Crystal, the Mont Blanc work that you can see over here, and many others. I'm not going to get into it. What I wanted to do is to share a few slides that would help you to understand how is the business of variable data enhancement going to grow your business going forward. Okay, I start by saying that I call this presentation The Time Is Now. The time is now because always with new technologies you can wait. You can wait, you can wait, you can look for something else to happen, you can wait until all your competitors will have it. What we are saying that the movement toward digital print enhancement is going now, is happening now worldwide. You need to act now. And if you look at Scodix, then there are 250 customers already working worldwide with Scodix and making money with Scodix worldwide. And the fact that I say it is great, and I'm sure that everybody would like to believe that, But I want to take you to another angle of what does it say when it comes to the industry expert? What do they see? What do they say? So let's go into a study that was done in 2016 by Infotrend. And the study, for the first time, covered the issue of variable digital enhancement. And for the first time, it says, okay, where is digital enhancement? What's the future of it? Where is the market? Is it growing? Is this the right time to invest? And the conclusions that they arrived through surveying a lot of the PSPs, some of them who has Scodix and other solution, and some of them who do not, were amazing. And let's look to a few of them. And if we look at the executive summary, then the first point that they have decided to highlight is the fact that there is a massive opportunity in digital print enhancement. They are not saying that it might succeed, it might work one day. The finding of that survey, which was not ordered by us, by the way, is that the opportunity is massive. The second point is even more important. Half of the PSPs, print service providers, that were surveyed in this industry survey by Infotrend are saying one thing. The time to invest is now. We are convinced. Within the next 2 years, we are going to make a decision. And now the question that any PSP has is whether he's making the decision now and running faster than his competition, or that he's waiting until everybody else would be successful and run to a solution of variable data enhancement and joining afterwards. So I would say the first point is the fact that it's happening right now and people are looking at it very, very seriously. The second point is the amount of the money, and we'll get to it in a minute in a more detailed way. What the customers surveyed, not Scodix, not other manufacturers, the customer themselves, the PSPs, have said is that they are able to charge between 50% to 400% more when they are doing a job with Scodix. 50% to 400% more. So if you look at the cost of doing digital print enhancement, and you talk about cost which is a few cents on the sheet, and then having the opportunity of selling it with dollars, then that effect on your top line and mainly on your bottom line is huge. And you know what? Maybe the best way of showing that is through an example. So let's take about a print company that have decided to add Scodix. So, you know, to my example, I would take a company that is selling in $10 million. Annual revenue, $10 million, this is the print, the current print turnover. Now let's say, how does this company look like? If it's a good company within the printing industry, then this company would do about 5% margin, which means on a 10% business, about $500,000 a year. Now, yes, some of the companies that are listening to me right now and are joining that live webinar are saying, okay, but we are a lot bigger. We are 20 million. So do the calculation by yourself, and let's continue with the numbers and see what would be the effect on different companies. $10 million, they are doing $500,000, a very good company. Now let's say what happens to this $10 million if that company have decided to add Scodix. And the Scodix effect is simple. You are not, in my example, let's play it safe. You are not adding another revenue for your business. You are just taking out of your 10 million, $1 million, and that is going to be your Scodix business. So now, from a $10 million, you have remained a $10 million business, but $9 million is your current business, and $1 million is the business that you do with Scodix. What's the effect of on your margin? So on the $9 million, you're still doing your 5%, and this is about $0.45 million, $450,000. But on the Scodix, and again, looking at the survey that we saw from Infotrend and understanding what's happening, let's play it safe. Let's say that you have only 50% margin on that part. The 50% margin means that totally this company now, instead of doing $500,000, is doing almost $1 million in the as a margin. So it's 0.95, $950,000, all of it without changing your top line. And for any business, this is a huge effect. And just to understand the scope of it, let's say that instead of doing that, I have decided that I want to achieve it by growing my business. If I want to grow my business in order to achieve the same margin, what I need is a required print turnover of $90 million. You need to double your business in order to have the same effect as adding only 10% of Scodix to your current business. And now that calculation is relevant for a company that is now $10 million, $15 million, $20 million, and each one can do their own calculation. Now, something that we do a lot with our prospect, with PSPs, is that we would love to take your business and understand better your challenges, your market that you play in, the people that would like to have more enhancement or less, and the amount of money that you can charge for it, and with you to build a business case and an ROI. So if you are able to do that, we would love to do it with you. Just send us an email to marketing@scodix.com, and please, we'll make sure that somebody will sit with you and will help you to see together what would be the effect of adding Scodix to your business. And I'm sure that there is many people in the audience that have some question now that would like to share it both with the audience and with us. Okay, hey, the question starts to pop up. Okay, so the first question is Scodix working on digital only or an analog as well? And this is a question I have to admit that is being asked a lot, because we keep on highlighting the digital effect of Scodix. Many people think that Scodix and variable data enhancement is something, digital enhancement as a field is something that you can do only on digital print. Well, this is not the case. As Guy said earlier, we can print on digital, but we can print on analog. And if I do a quick analysis of statistics of our customers worldwide today, then from the 250 customers, I would say that about half of them are printing only on analog, and half are printing on digital on various substrate, various technologies. And definitely most substrate and most printing mechanism in the world today, being it analog, being it digital, are supported by Scodix. Again, if you have a question about a specific printing device, we would love to answer that as well. So that's on digital. A question from Bill. Can we print on lamination? Then yes, we already said lamination is part of the substrate that we support. Lamination is a very easy substrate because once you laminate, then practically all pages are behaving the same. And we support lamination, so that's a definitely yes answer. There was a question that, are we looking at printing lenticular lenses? Wow, that's an interesting one. First, yes, we are constantly looking for more and new application on the Scodix. Now, we have presented over here some of the application that we do today. Today, the platform of Scodix Ultra Pro can support 9 applications. And we have showed some of the samples of those 9 applications over here. Lenticular is not in our current 9, but we have looked at lenticular. And if you have a business case of a customer that wants to print lenticular, we would love to do that test with you and to take it to the next step. Up till now, we have done some tests mostly in our R&D. But if there is a business, this platform can definitely support it. And you can even send a personal email to me, amit.s@scodix.com, and I'll be very happy with the application team to really look into it. We had some initial tests being done on that. Wow, so many questions. Okay, I'm running to the next one. What's the ROI I can expect on a Scodix press? Well, that's a good question. First, I can't give a number that just would say, listen, it's 15.7 month, and that would work for everybody, and this is what you should expect. This is usually an exercise that we do with customer. It depends a lot on the volumes. It depends of how much can you charge for Scodix. It depends on your application and what would you like to do. I can say that usually we are able to find an ROI that is less than 2 years. Some of our customers have an ROI of 9 to 12 months, which I know sounds amazing, but on a one-on-one, I'll be very happy to share with you the numbers. And some of them are very known worldwide customers that have managed to get into less than a year ROI. Some would get into 2 or 3 years. Our average would be something in the neighborhood of 15 to or 16 to 24 months, which is usually 1.5 years to 2 years. And again, this is an exercise that I would love to do with each one of you and getting into your specific business and the market that you serve and see what would be your ROI. Does it work as well with coated and uncoated paper substrate? That's definitely a challenging question, and I'm happy to address it. First, we do not support all uncoated substrate, but there are uncoated papers that we support, and some of them are in what we call RML, recommended media list, and we have uncoated paper from various vendors that you can work with. Of course, if it's very, very uncoated in a level that is, every drop would go to the other side, that definitely would not work. Some of our customers have found excellent ways of dealing with uncoated paper, and that's through either printing a layer of digital or offset and then printing Scodix on top of it, or doing a regular coating, or as I said, some of the papers that are uncoated but were designed specifically to Scodix by the paper companies, and the list appears on Scodix website, and I can definitely encourage you, because I know that some of our customers are online as well, to try that and see the effect of uncoated paper, which, as we all know, is becoming very, very popular worldwide. How many sheets do you need to pay to run in order to pay a machine in general per day? It's very specific for a customer because it depends on your application and how much can you charge. I have been involved with, close to 100 ROIs that were done to customers. And my rule of thumb is that if you are able to print 3,000 sheets a day, which is about 3 hours working every day, your ROI would be less than 2 years. If you can do more than that, and some of our customers are working 2 and 3 shifts, some of them are printing 1.5, 2 million sheets a year with Scodix day in, day out, then of course your ROI would be a lot shorter than what I've just said. But again, if you have 3,000 sheets that you can print on Scodix per day, then I can guarantee an ROI which is less than 2 years, usually about 16 to 18 months. This is in most of the application, most of the customers that we have surveyed. And again, our way of doing a business case is a very detailed way of sitting with the customer and understanding what is the requirement, where are we taking the technology, what's the potential. One thing that goes back to my slide about adding Scodix to your business, we are not changing businesses. We are not coming and tell you, listen, from now on, if you have done brochures and direct mail, start doing something else with Scodix. Do the work that you are doing today with Scodix, and then if you take only 10% of your work and do it with Scodix, then you guarantee an ROI which is very fast. And this is in addition to all the advantages of where do you position yourself as a PSP the moment that you have Scodix. How does your customers, how do the brand, how does everybody look at your business and the direction that you have took it if you are the most advanced when it comes to offering enhancement and differentiating yourself with your competition. With this, I would like to finish this live webinar. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I want to thank Guy, who helped me a lot in setting up this place. I want to thank Echut Print, who is being a loyal partner for the last 4 years and printing so much work, so many customer work, so many brand work with Scodix. And I wish all of you, a very good day and good luck.